Welcome, guys, to another incredible Cash. I am your host, Cash Caduce. Please excuse my voice today. I am still under the weather a little bit. For some reason, I was feeling a lot better on Saturday, and today I feel like crap again. So, what's up, Kyle? How you doing, brother? Facebook user, I'm not sure who was that. If you go down to chat.restream.io/FB, that will give Facebook access to let us see your name. You have to request that through Facebook. Anyways, today I thought what better thing to talk about than talk about life itself. A little bit of what happened with me last week. We see a lot of different people run into a lot of different things, and one thing when we're talking about financials, we don't ever want to talk about the worst case scenario. So Facebook is Vinny. Vinny, what's up, bro? Nice meeting you too. Halfway through the day, things start blurring out. I want to say thank you to Eric Devash for talking with me and excusing my mumbling and me repeating some stuff and losing my mind of thought when I was talking to him, because he was very generous enough to just stand there and talk to me like nothing, like everything was normal, like nothing happened. If I did that with anybody else, I'm sorry. I thought I was feeling really good, but I guess I wasn't completely healed up. I'm still not. So, if anybody got anything they want to put up, please let me know. I've got Avery on the line. He just wanted to come on a chat and check the chat. So let's see how Avery does. Give me 1 second here. Avery, what's up, brother? You finally got it figured out, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you're on live right now, bro. I'm sorry you didn't get to do it before the live, but I just put you on live just so you can test it and have fun, since we're still just kind of starting this off.
Okay.
So, what you up to?
Ain't too much. I'm trying to hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. How about me? I see the bulldogs in the back.
Okay. I see. Man. I'm so you gotta bear with me.
It's all right, brother. It's all good, man. That's what I love about this industry is we just all help each other out. So, how you doing with that new heat gun of yours? Did you do what Marcos told you to let it run for a little bit?
Run for 3 hours straight, man. I came about to burn up. I thought it was gonna burn.
Did you try it after the 3 hours? Was it really that big of a difference compared to what you were using before? Because I was about to ready to buy it after your review, just trying to see how it is. But your review kind of said, "Hey," to me, it kind of said, "Just hold off." Honestly.
Well, I wasn't sure, man. I was like, me uh, for it, but it didn't. Okay, it was really hot, but it was just gotta try for yourself, I guess.
Okay. Are you on a Wi-Fi or are you on your network? Because your signals are pretty weak, man.
I'm on my phone and I'm out here. Um, uh, work right. What I gotta do? Go outside.
I mean, you may want to find a better spot for your signal because right now we're kind of getting choppy audio as well as your video is very slow. Like it's old school slow.
Old school. I might be because I'm out here in the. Let me see. Let me see if we can do better here.
We're running into the
What about now?
Shady J connection right now, almost.
Yeah, that's what it is. It
Yeah, your connection is weak, brother. I mean, you're coming through, but it's just coming in weak.
catch it, man. I'm gonna get it right one day.
No problem, no problem, bro. No problem. It's all good.
Yeah. No.
Anything you want to talk about? Anything on your mind today? I took a
I
little
don't know.
nap, so I'm still waking up.
Let's talk.
I want to make sure I was able to do this, and I'm sweating as you can see. So
Catch you, man. Shoot, you're a guru.
you got cut off there. I didn't hear it.
You're a guru at it, man. Be all right.
I mean, God is good regardless, brother. That's all it is. So blessed to be
Oh
here.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. That road trip.
the road trip was long, man. I mean, I rented a 15 passenger Ford F-350 high roof. It was fun with the family because I took my family and my brother's family to an Airbnb. They had this basement that
Mm-hmm.
was full game room style basement. So the kids really enjoyed it. Well, I went over to Mike Powell's grand opening and hung out with the guys over there. That was a really cool little event. His community was involved. He had a lot of, tenors there that were really well known. Um, so it was to me, I think it was a really good turnout,
Dude, I wish I
but it was a learning experience as well.
yeah, definitely wish I could have been there.
Yeah, it was one of those like if you were there, it was just great.
I got you. Gotcha. What time does
So
the does everybody start getting on?
people just start coming on as it gets. Amazing Mike is a great guy. Yeah, Vinny, he is. So people come, a lot of people watch afterwards. So I don't get um, a lot of live chat. Honestly, it's more of
Uh,
a teaching
uh,
program and or answering question type of program than a
yes,
lot of the
sir.
talks. Unless we got a special guest that people want to interact with.
I
So
got you. Got you.
I've learned to kind of just go with the flow and work it. Just like today, you wanted to test it. We couldn't test it beforehand, so there was no plan of you having on the show. But now we got you on the show just
Right.
because we want to make sure that you can connect and not have this issue for other stuff. Actually, I was gonna
Right.
request you and your partner from Tenor Battles to come on and kind of talk about your experience together with Sean Titman as one of my guests in the near
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
But you're on here today, man.
Hey, I want to make it get it to where it's working. A little bit better, better, and all of that, so I can. You
Right. So, I mean, maybe we need to put you guys on the schedule on one of these podcasts so we can have you guys do proper interview, and maybe you can connect it with your Wi-Fi and better internet connection, so you have a better overall experience on it.
yeah. Oh
Anyways, you
yeah.
got anything you want to talk about?
And my day went good. It wasn't too bad. It started out kind of, and then midday, and it was on fire.
So do you start off like Sean Tenman? Man, he's starting off of his morning at 5 o'clock. I don't know anybody else that does that, bro.
No, 8 o'clock.
Okay.
8 o'clock.
What do you close up at? What, six,
And
7, 5?
5 o'clock.
8 to 5? Got you.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
A lot of times, man, we'll stay late because we have some extra stuff out. People walk in and stop whenever everything stops flowing.
Do you have a cutoff time, or you just take them as they come?
Five shows up. Just say if they want two front, let's get it.
What about a Volvo coming out at 4 o'clock? He wants the full thing done.
Comes in at 4 o'clock. I got two guys, man, with not.
Oh, you got two guys? That's what's up. So Avery's down in Cottonville. He's in George. Where is that? Is that mid Georgia or is that South Georgia? Where you at, Avery?
It's Valdosta is South Georgia.
South Georgia. Yeah.
Valdosta.
Yeah. I guess I'm
Right there on the
center. I'm
border.
in Atlanta, so but he's south. I guess south. I guess Macon would be the center, and then you would be south, because
Right.
I used to live in Orlando, and I used to drive back and forth, and to me, Valdosta was the middle. But I guess as if you're looking at it as Georgia,
Oh
that is
man, see,
almost
this is at the bottom
South
of Georgia,
Georgia.
man.
Yeah. Hey man, I found out like that the North first time that North Carolina just connects with Georgia. I always thought it was South Carolina and then North Carolina, but on our way back, we took the
Mm-hmm.
trip yesterday through the mountains to kind of give the kids, the family, a little view of the mountains, and we hit up, all the way across North Carolina and dipped down to Georgia, and I didn't even realize that North Carolina up north is only about an hour and a half away from Atlanta. So that was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first
man.
time for me.
It's actually yeah. You falls. I have to come down. It's like 3 hours from where you're at, and then we have to go across the 95
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was I don't even know. I just followed Google, man. Honestly, I know it was 985 going up Gainesville, and then up into the little highways going up. But when we went up, we took 85 up, all the way through South Carolina to North Carolina. We end up, my brother ended up flying in on Saturday night to kind of spend the night with the family and the drive back. And we had a fun trip going all the way up to Richmond,
Mm.
Virginia, and had a good dinner over there. That was pretty fun. Richmond is a really nice city, man. I mean, it's lit up pretty well, and everything around it looks like it's built really nice.
Virginia.
My drive was over 10 hours, man, both ways, especially with kids. Now, nonstop, it would have been 7 hours from here to Mike's place, a little bit over 7 hours. I was half an hour away from his spot where I got my Airbnb. It would have been like 6 hours and 50 minutes if I had nonstop, but I had kids with me, man. Like, every stop it was a long stop. It wasn't Nothing was shorter than 30 minutes, and then when you eat out, you're talking about over an hour, especially when you got 10 people with you. But it was a fun trip, man. I love those
Yes,
high roof
sir. Yes.
vans, man. I can't wait to do that kind of trip again with the families. So what's up, Rick Tallman? How you doing, brother?
Dude, that's a
Congratulations on getting that spot today, bro. Very excited to hear about that. WFR just got their venue for the reunion, which is going to happen in the end of July. And they just locked in the dates and locked in the venue today. So, very excited for that. It's a 24,000 square foot facility, 30 feet high roof. It is going to be a lot of room, a lot of fun, and there's a lot of stuff that's being planned out. So within the next month or so, you'll be hearing a lot of good stuff about it. I know Rick is feeling like a big old kid today because he can't hold the excitement that he's got that spot and it's gonna be off the walls. Very happy for you, Rick. Very happy for everybody in the WFR, man. Very
I'm
happy for everybody,
excited.
the whole tennis
Yeah.
community. So that way, these events, man, tenor battles, WF
Yes,
reunion,
sir.
all this stuff is just beautiful stuff to be part of, and the growth, and like got to meet um, Vinny for the first time this Saturday. Got to meet a couple different people that I didn't know, that I never met. Yeah, happy for us all. That's what I said. The whole tin community, happy for everybody, man, because it's gonna be totally cool to kind of hang out and just be able to be in a larger facility. Last year the event was really nice, but it was multiple story. It was a couple different rooms, so there was stuff happening at some spots, and then you miss some of that stuff. But when it's everything is in one spot, it's less chance of you missing what's happening. And I know, like, for Elizabeth, she won't have to crawl up the stairs anymore because there was a lot of back and forth walking, especially for the people that were running the event. If they had to go to the basement, go back up, down, up, so forth and so forth. So, but Mike Watson is the one that secured the spot for Rick, man. I want to shout out to Mike. Thank you, brother. You are awesome. He's not even part of the setup crew, but man, he went out of his way to facilitate this location for Rick and helped him out. This is what I love about this industry, man. The beauty of this industry is you got a lot of people that would just step up and help out just because they're able to or they want to, whatever. It's beautiful, man. So
Oh yeah,
shout out to these
man. I
guys.
like Mike's. Oh yeah.
Mike's an awesome brother, man. I mean, Mike and Leanne,
Yeah.
both those that couple, power couple, is what I would say. Um, they're an
Yes,
awesome
sir.
couple. Both of them are beautiful people. Love hanging out with them. Mike and me, we spent a hell of time at tenor battles. Even this Saturday, we hung out pretty
Oh
well.
yeah.
So Mike is a really cool guy to just kind of be chill, relax, and be just natural, man. I mean, he is who he is, and he's very comfortable with that, and I love that. Yes,
Yes,
Rick,
sir.
they're definitely a power couple, man. I mean, the way they have their location set up, the business set up, they're just um, friendliness and familyness. It's beautiful, man. I mean, shoot, some of the stuff that we were talking at the end, and Hannah and some of us where we were talking at Mike's thing, man, I can't believe where the conversation went. But that's what it kind of shows you was it was a family surrounding, man, and that's what's so beautiful about some of these events are they're not just business events, they're becoming more of a business family events, and the family is the key point. There is that you're connecting and you're making these into your brothers, cousins, whatever. It's just beautiful to kind of see that. I see Kyle and
Yeah.
Randy have a really good connection. And then same thing, Kyle and Mike and Randy, all these guys got good connections going on, and it's just beautiful. It's just trying to be with everybody like that. Yeah,
Shows a lot of
exactly.
growth when it comes to, yeah.
Rick said he just saw Kyle and Hannah today, and that's another power couple right there, man. Look, Kyle's got his tinting going on, while Hannah's got her printing going on, and they combine both of them. They help each other out, and man, that's another power couple right there. That's just beautiful. Um, Appreciate that, Rick. Love you too, brother. So. It is beautiful, man. That's what I said. I was just talking to, like I said, I was talking to Eric Devesh Saturday, and I was like, this community is such a very beautiful community because just they embrace everybody. They help each other out. I mean, there's definitely some clowniness going on, but it's all in good play for good cause. Tenor for cause, another thing I love. Been talking to Jeff Welch since I got to win the bet on that. Man, this guy is reaching out to me and he's offering a lot of stuff, and I'm just so thankful. I don't even know how to answer it. How to even take that in. It is just again just so beautiful, man. And that's why today's topic was life happens, and life happens for the good and the bad, and we gotta stop looking at just the bad, and we gotta look at like how do we turn it into a positive experience and keep it
Yep.
going. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, Rick. Yeah, I saw that in one of those pictures, Rick, that you had Greg Sloan in the background. Rick actually, I'm sorry, Greg actually got a new logo for WFR and new T-shirts that's going to be dropping down pretty soon. I'm not sure when Rick is going to release that, but I know there's some work as being part of the radar team. We got to saw that there's a new shirts for WFR that's going to be coming out. Those are really hot shirts. Just saying two XL, just right here. So whenever those shirts come on,
3X.
Avery's like 3X. I used to be 3X, man. I'm going down to 2X. Sean G is down to probably XL, man. I love the way this guy's turned around his weight
Oh
loss.
my
It's a
goodness.
beautiful thing to see, and
Yes.
I'm hoping to be
Yeah.
behind him on that experience myself, man. It's just losing little weight is it feels so good, man. It's just such a great feeling.
Dude,
Um,
man, that's not a lot of weight, man.
oh yeah,
Because,
that dude dropped a lot, bro. I mean, just look at his
yeah.
transformation. Even just what, like less than 6 months, he's did a big transformation in maybe just 6 months, or maybe less.
It's been less than 6 months. It was from tenor battle, man.
Yeah,
It was, I mean, it was crazy. And
yeah. I
his
think he
trainer
started his
everybody,
journey.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did his journey in November or December, started that, and now look, man, we're in February. and he's slimmed down a lot, man. He looks like a totally different person.
Boy, look.
Pick those up today. It isn't up to me, up to Ryan Wilcox and Radar. I can say that I am willing to ship 10 shirts a week. Hey, we appreciate it, Rick. Everything you do, man. I guess we lost Avery. Um, so I don't know if I have a lot of people on here or not, but I guess we'll talk about what was in the caption today. Life happens. Are we financially prepared for it? Um, I know that for me, a few years ago, it was something that was not in place, but now I do have some stuff put in place for it. Okay, I guess Avery's back. Everything okay, bro?
I'm back. Good, man.
Yeah, you just drop, so it happens, man. We get that on these lives that sometimes you just drop. So I was just talking about what the today's topic was. Life happens. Are we financially prepared for it? Do guys have any kind of backup plans financially to support your family? Um, for me, man, I am the breadwinner and the only income coming in for my family, so I have to be prepared for it. And last week scared the hell out of me. I mean, I'll be honest. I did not expect to be in the hospital, in the urgent care, almost being ready to be transferred over
Right.
to the main hospital, and they pumped two whole bottles of fluids and a whole bunch of cocktails into me to get me to where I was, and it was a scary thing, man. Um,
Man.
so it's that's some of the stuff that a lot of people
Wow.
don't want to talk about. Um, hey, Marion, how are you? How you doing today? I miss where Rick's is country buffet. I guess Rick's is having a dinner uh, somewhere. He's having a country buffet. Um,
trust, trust me, when Rick comes through here, hey, man, he loves
Rick is as straight as you get, man. He does not have a filter. He does not, he just says what is on his heart, and you gotta love that about Rick is that he's just straight up guy the way it is. Um, so what's up, Tim? Welcome. So you know, going to where I was talking about, being prepared, man. I really haven't talked about this. This is something that's in my line of works to have the teen community be prepared for and hopefully work their way up to is you got to have some financial planning in case for the worst that may happen. So that way, you know, your family is taken care of. So Avery, since I
it.
got you on here, I'm not sure if you have any set up or not, but that's what the topic was today was to talk about. God forbid, like I said, my wife last Wednesday morning. Woo, man, was it Wednesday morning or Thursday morning? I can't remember what day it was, but I'm talking about 5 o'clock. We're going through a scare because I fell on my bed. I went from my bathroom to my bed in less than a second, and I couldn't
Wow.
stand.
Yeah.
Then my oxygen level dropped to 89, and that scared the hell out of both of us because we've
Right.
had COVID before, and biggest thing with COVID was to be prepared for your oxygen level, keeping an eye on that because just how a lot of people go fatal when they don't pay attention to their oxygen levels. So she was watching my oxygen level, and it went down to 92 and then to 89, and Man, that scared us. And I had no way of knowing that I was gonna be at the urgent care for over 7 hours, man. So like, when I call my advice nurse, they're like, "You need to come in because we just talked to the doctor, and what you're explaining, chest pains, heavy head, dizziness, shortness of breath, all that sounds like a heart attack." So, you know, when I went in, they put me.
Wow, that's scary. God.
Yeah, bro. So I mean, it's sometimes it takes that kind of stuff to kind of let people realize, man, you never know what's gonna happen. I mean, 2 days before that, I was tending cars. I was working
Mhm.
like nothing was wrong. The day before, I started feeling a little sick, like you're under the weather. Like you're catching a little cold. I left the shop early
Yeah.
around 2 o'clock. I'm like, hey guys, I don't feel good. I'm gonna go home, go get some rest. And typically, I don't know about you guys, but this happens to me occasionally. Be you need to go sleep off a little bit, or I get a fever. I usually sweat it out that night, and the next morning I'm ready and I'm back at that clock. Especially if you're running your own business, man, you got to make sure that you're there. So, as business owners, a lot of us, we put our body through a lot of stuff and put it on the back burner, saying, "Hey, listen, I got to be there for the business." Because a lot of time the business is running you, you're not running the business. So,
That's
therefore
right.
we got to realize how we need to change that, how to run the business, not let the business run us. So
Yeah.
financially, the goals is to set ourselves up so that way we can not run into where the business is running us and we're running the business. Tim says just got down changing the oil in the wife's car. Yeah, I see Jeremy posting something about oil changes as well, man. I guess Tinder's got to do everything themselves.
Hey, man, for sure. Get up late
You get,
enough, you just have to get out and get it done. You know.
hey man,
So
my wife is.
you got.
I'm the typical TikTok husband, man. My wife don't even feel gas in her car. I've got to do
Oh
that.
man.
uh, she'll let me know when it gets down to past the half before the quarter. I don't let my cars go down under quarter, man. It's just my mechanic uncle has put that in my mind is that, hey, you treat that quarter like it's an empty tank. You never
Yeah.
let it go under that quarter because you get a lot of that junk that comes up into your engine, and that's what causes a lot of these problems. If you want your cars to last, never let it go down past
Mm.
that quarter. What's up, fellas? Love the hat. Avery, Facebook
Who's
user.
that?
I'm not sure who that is, honestly. That could be. I mean, if they love the hat, it might as well be Mike Watson because he had us take a group picture with those hats at Mike's
Oh yeah.
event. But it could be anybody else. I'm gonna jump on here and see. Ah, guess what? That is Mike Watson.
Mike. What? Yes,
What's
sir.
up, brother? We were just talking about you earlier. Love you, bro. I just want to
Sure.
put that out there. You and Leanne are a power couple, man. We love you guys. You're like the father and mother of a lot of us out there. So, or bigger brothers in a lot of people's cases. I'm not that young, but um, Mike in the house, Rick Tom, and it's Mike. Yeah, I got that, Miriam. I had to
It's
cheat on the second
Mike.
screen.
Yeah.
Uh, so welcome. But yeah, guys. I mean, so that was my experience last week. So my experience was very scary. I didn't know if it was gonna live or die or what was gonna happen to me. My wife was going frantic at the house. Connection was bad. All I could do was text. I couldn't talk, and even if you can talk, they weren't allowing you to talk because they were overflowing at the urgent care, man. Um, and I'm with Kaiser. Kaiser is supposed to be one of the better coverages, but their urgent cares, they got 20 some rooms. They were all full, and they actually had me in the
Wow.
hallway on a chair. And a couple hours goes in, and I'm like, I can't breathe right. I can't do this. So they get a stretcher in the hallway, and I'm in the hallway like you go to the emergency, and they just brought you on an ambulance. But it was a scary thing. Then they finally got me in a room, and but yeah, they put some fluids on me, man. That's when I took that picture because my cousin reached out. He's like, "Hey, why aren't you answering your phone?" And I'm like, "Here's a picture of it." And he's like, "What the hell happened to you? I just talked to you yesterday." So I was like, "Yeah, I just talked to myself yesterday, and I was feeling great yesterday."
Man.
But yeah,
Yeah, but
man, you know, or even right now, man, I'm not. I'm like, I would say I'm 70% right now, bro. Like my chest is starting to feel. I guess whatever they put in me is starting to run out, and I need to let the body um recover properly. What's up, Jordan? How are you doing, brother?
oh, shady J.
We were just mentioning you earlier with your with Avery's connection, like Jordan's connection happens sometime. It's got that shady connection going on. I love Jordan. Jordan is a really cool dude, man. I mean, Jordan and me connected
Oh
a
yeah,
year ago, and it was just I love him since then, man. So, anyways, so that's
man. Oh,
where the
shady
conversation.
J, man. He's awesome.
Yeah, everybody knows him by Shady. So Shady Sears. It sure is, man. Avery's got the same service over there in
Yeah,
Valdosta, man. So you ain't alone, Jordan. But yeah, I mean, so guys, the whole conversation is financially being secured. So one of the ways to find that out is I found this some years ago in life insurance. We don't want to talk about our end of day. We don't want to face that. We may not be here tomorrow, but you know, we have to face the facts. I mean, I've got a mortgage. What happens tomorrow if I'm not here? Is the bank gonna take the house, put my family out on the street? Because if they don't get paid, bank is a bank, man. They don't. It's a business.
yeah,
They're not gonna look at, hey, you got four kids. You got a wife. What about my kids going to college? I've got a 16-year-old that's about to go.
yeah,
One more year of high school. She's gonna be going to college, and who's gonna sport that? I've got a cool connection with my family, but
yeah,
at the same time, I can't expect my brothers to take care of my families because they got to take care of their family. And with the way everything is in today's world, it's it's hard taking care of your own self than trying to take care of somebody else. So facing that fact that we need to have some kind of coverage, we got to have that. Hey, no problem,
yeah.
Jordan. We love you, bro. So, there, like I
Oh,
said, life insurance is something that I ran into some years ago. I didn't qualify because of my overweight and diabetes. That life insurance, a lot of people got to realize is that they'll give you coverage when you're healthy and at a low price. Then, when you need their service, it's just like credit card, man. When you want that credit, they ain't gonna give you because you need that credit. They're gonna offer that credit to the people that don't need that credit. So you got
right.
to put yourself in that position where you got to set up, or you got to figure out ways to do, um, some kind of a backup plan. So now, thankfully, I'm set up. I figured out ways to do it to have something where if tomorrow I'm not here, my family, my first of all, my house is not gone. Second, well, my family's got something to get by and get on their feet for a little bit because everybody needs a grace period to figure things out and not worry about the expenses of paying the mortgage, paying the electric bill, paying the basic necessities. So, these are some of the stuff that's out there. There's term life, which is if you're trying to be least expensive, that's only there for if you pass away, they pay your family, a certain amount that you set up. There's whole life that's got a little bit better. That's there for just like term, but it costs us a little bit more, but it's there for you for the whole life of it. Term, it can be 10 year, 15 years, 20 year, or 30 years. If you live past that 30 years, then that term kind of went away. You lose all that money. That's where whole life is a little bit different. It's like term, it's still cost is low. There's no other benefit other than death benefit. And then you got variable universal, and the very last one, index universal, which a lot of people call the IULs. And that's where a lot of people bank on, especially a lot of the wealthy people that throw a lot of their money into it for tax purposes, for um, compound interest, for building wealth, for borrowing money. So there's a lot of
Mhm.
stuff in those IULs. And then the other cool thing about a lot of these IULs is they have a guaranteed funds coming in, and it's not as scary as like a 401k or some of the other stuff that is uh, like the stock market, where you're just into one or two things, and if the stock's bottoms up, you're out of it. IUL usually is the Fortune 500 or something, and if you look at a Fortune 500, you may have some companies that go down, some companies that go up. Overall, it doesn't take a
Right.
nosedive, so there's more security on it. But most IULs, usually will pay you zero point 0.5 or 0.75 minimum, and they'll usually cap out 13, 15%. But on average, you're probably gaining 8%. And that's, we talked about this at a previous podcast, is that inflation for the last 20 year, I'm not talking about the last couple of years because the last couple of years have been weird. But if you look at it at a 20-year base, inflation is going to be between 3 and 5%. And if you're not making 5% every year on your money, then you're losing out money. That $100,
Yeah.
me and Billy Aiden
Yeah.
talked about this, is that $100 is not worth $100 the next year. If you put that under your mattress and say, hey, I saved this 100 a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, it's not worth the same now. So you gotta have some kind of a vessel, some kind of a ride that's gonna hold you up with the market and grow. The other thing with it is, a lot of business people,
Too
they
good.
invest their money into it, and then they can borrow out of that without any interest, without any penalties, and they may not even have to pay it back. So those
Right.
are some of the things that we can talk about. If anybody has any questions on it, whatever I know, I'll be more than happy to share that. Um, you know, we can talk about connections. I have guys that can hook you up with the coverages or explain the coverages without any charges. Or you can get your answers and go to your own guy and ask him certain questions, what to look out for and what to not to look out, what not to get taken advantage of. Because one thing I do want to put out there is not everybody is straightforward about a lot of this stuff. A lot of them are salesmen, and at the end of the day, they may just want to sell you a product that may not be good for you. And you
Shady
may. Which one of us? I know I look like shit today, bro. So I have a
We're
question.
trying to get this information on life.
Why are you looking so damn good on camera? So what are you trying to say? So it's only on the camera, Shady? That's what you gotta love by Shady, man. Love you, brother. Um, so those are some of the topics I wanted to kind of bring out and talk about. He's got another comment. He's
That's your life
going, nah, y'all look great. That's your life
insurance.
insurance. Hey man,
There you
I
go.
take the life insurance thing very seriously. Like I said, happened some years ago. I had a scared about 4 years ago as well, and that's what made me change and look for a lot of these stuff to make sure that it doesn't happen. And if it does happen, that my wife, my kids are well protected. You know, having a will, man, like that's in place to make sure that you have something that can be enforced and not be taken advantage of, because again, guys, the government, the banks, they're not going to look at your family like you are looking at your family. They're going to look at assets, and all they care about is assets and getting their asses covered. Asses are like asses, man. That's literally what it is. If you don't cover your ass, you don't got your asses
Yeah,
covered. Simple as that.
yeah.
So learn how to take care of that ass, because if you don't take care of it, somebody's gonna take that ass real quick. So
Real talk.
that that I'm gonna I mean I guess this week I'm not gonna hold it back. I'm gonna talk like it is, man, because it was a scare, man. No shit, Jordan and Johnny had talked about leaving trades to their kids, then leaving money. We talked about something similar to that, where you can have money left over, but you can leave it in a trust fund where the kids got to do something, that they don't just burn it or abuse it. Because, a lot of people, when they have inheritance, they become druggies, they blow up. I looked at a
Yeah.
lotto. I don't know if anybody ever looked into the lotto's facts. If you look at it, there's a report out that almost 90% of lotto winners end up being in worse place than they started off with. 90%.
Really? 80%.
Bro, there's an
Good
article.
God.
There's an article on there because they don't know how to manage that money, and they burn through that money so quick. So here's a funny one. So there was a couple that won hundreds. I'm not talking about 100, hundreds of $1 million, either in Washington or Oregon. So this couple goes out and they buy his and her Jeeps. They buy a huge house. They buy a whole bunch of lavish thing, a world round trip. I mean, the whole 9 yards, everything they can throw their money at. Obviously, you get a whole bunch of family that you didn't think existed come out of the
Oh yeah.
woodworks when you come up on some money. So they were generous. Here's 100,000 to here. They were trying to be Oprah, without being Oprah. Oprah is Oprah, but Oprah's got some lot of shit background, man. You wish you could be halfway what
Oh
Oprah's
yeah.
got, or even
It's a
one
lot
tenth
of
of.
residual
But that girl has
stuff.
worked hard.
Just
But if you ever look
yeah.
at Oprah's interview, she'll put it, or anybody that's up there, they'll put it at that they put a lot of hard work and they put a lot of structural stuff in place for themselves to be secure there. Because if they're not, they're not gonna be secure. Look at P Diddy, man. I mean, Diddy talks about having a lot of different ventures and a lot of different franchises and a whole bunch of stuff. For a rapper, this guy's
Oh
got
yeah.
his money locked down because he can't be always on top of the charts. So how does he invest his money? Yeah, he gives lavish gifts to his kids, but he's
He
got.
puts his money into that he makes money. Those people, man, they ahead. You know.
Yeah, look, Jordan Shady, Shady J just put this out. I'll watch a friend burn through 60,000 of his life insurance money from a family member in 1 year, and that's exactly what I'm talking about with the lottos and the life insurances. So a lot of these life insurances, you can actually put terms and conditions on it. It's basically a trust, and the trust can, you hear about, oh, you've seen these movies, or you hear about these things like, a kid doesn't get his money until he's 18 or 21 or 25. A kid cannot get money unless he graduates. kid cannot get this money unless he's married. A kid cannot get this thing until so and so and so. You can put a lot of stipulations on a lot of your money. A lot of people don't realize that just because you have a life insurance, that it's not automatically they're gonna give you a check. They are gonna give you a check, but that check doesn't have to go to an individual right away. It can go into a trust. So if you got, little
Right.
ones, or you got a spouse that may not entrust the full funds on, you can make it where you can give them gradual monies that they can't burn out through the whole thing within the first year. You can build a
Right.
trust that can slowly let money out, just like the lottos. Lotto, you can have a lump sum and you get a very little lump sum when you take a lump sum, or you can have it paid out in 15, 30 years. And a lot of these people, again, they take the lump sum just thinking because they're getting into money that unless you're an investor, the lump sum does not do you any good. Unless you're going to take a majority of that money and you can turn it around and double that money, that lump sum, the government hits you on the head with it. So, and a lot of these people will blow through that. I mean, that couple I was
Yeah.
talking about,
Yeah.
less than 2 years, they were now in debt for over $500,000. They came into hundreds of, I'm talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, and they were in less than 2 years, they were in debt for uh, uh, over $500,000, and they
That
were
is
on the street. They lost
crazy.
their house, they lost their cars, and there's a lot of stories on it. There's a series on dumbest lotto winners. There's a series of craziest lotto stories, but ultimately, if you guys don't know how to financially take care of your money, or don't have somebody there that can help you out with it. A lot of guys are not always smart with their
Right.
money, but what they do is they go and they hire somebody that can manage that money for them. You know, I've got a family member. That's what they do. They're great at business. They're not great at the paperwork. So what they got somebody that they trust
Yeah.
that does the paperwork for them, and now they keep on growing, man. I mean, there, there's so many stories, so many people person that I know that have succeeded that may not know shit about the financial side, but they got it down because they're set up right, and they're set up with the right people. So, guys, any questions you guys got on that? If you don't, um, yes, owning a business definitely. And if you can trust somebody, you can grow your business. And I've got a family friend that has now 17 plus locations because they've trusted couple people that have made them grow their business. He went from one location to now 17 plus location and growing. And this guy can be sitting home and making $100,000 a month right now just because he trusted his guys. He pays them well. He takes care of them. And a lot of things, a lot of owners got to realize, man, you got to take care of your guys. Look at all the pro athletes that lost everything. Exactly, Marion. So there's so many examples we can look at. Is that these pro athletes that make millions and then they're homeless. You hear about the Dallas basketball player that was years ago. He was on the highway, and nobody believed that it was a Dallas player that was on the highway, that he was homeless. I don't know his name, but I know the story. And there's a whole bunch of them. A lot of these actors that supposedly were supposed to make a whole bunch of money, and they're working these everyday, life jobs that they're working as a waitress or as a cop or whatever because they lost their money. They didn't manage it right. Now, some of them do it because that's what they want to do and they have the money to back up, but a lot of them lose it. Jordan knows the story. I believe. I think so. Again, I'm bad with names, but I know the story of it. So what's a crazy perspective on money on this? I hate more money. It's always come with more bullshit. More money, more problems. Hey man, I love that song. More money, more problems. But again, Jordan, the point is to have, you know, stuff put in place where the more money is not a problem for you. Is you just got to learn how to manage it, just like you got to learn how to manage your credit to take the benefits out of it. Same thing what we were talking about with Billy last week was that if you can turn that stuff around, you can really, instead of getting hurt, you can really take benefits from it. I mean, dude, again, personal stories is couldn't rent a house, couldn't even buy a freaking iPhone. They wanted more money than what the damn thing was worth. That's how bad my credit was. To now, where a couple years ago when I bought my last vehicle, to me it wasn't about me getting approved for the vehicle. It was about what I want on my terms, and the pricing was my point. I was your typical guy that comes in and says, "Hey, I know what the vehicle is. I don't need you to go through the damn specs on it because I've already done my homework. I know what this is worth, and I'm not paying you the bullshit price that you want. And don't worry about my credit. Don't run my credit. We'll worry about that very last." And if you're buying cars, that's I'll tell you one same thing again. Make the deal. Don't give them your social security number. You don't need to give them your social security number. They don't need to run your credit beforehand. If you run your credit beforehand and you know where your credit is, or get your own bank or a financial institution to give you a pre-loan before you go buy a car, that's some of the things that you got to understand is how do you manage those things. Same thing with life. I mean, guys, my kids have life insurances. It's not because I want to have my kids have life insurance. I have IULs for my kids, so that way their life insurance is actually building their own trust and their own funds. So by the time they're in college or beyond that, they can take money out of that and still have the life insurance in case anything ever happened to them. But they can also take the money out of those IULs and use that money for college, for a job, for whatever they want to do. So, Marion's got a question. Hey, speaking about credit, are you familiar with the 15-3 credit card payments? Um, I have not heard of that term. What is that, Marion? Can you explain it? Maybe I know it as under something else. I've not heard of 15/3 credit card payments. I know there's a 10-second delay, guys. So I mean, this week it was just me coming on talking about what type of life insurance policy allow you to borrow money against the policy? IULs, brother. So Zeus, IULs. I've got a friend that has associates all over the country that can come out and give you free evaluations and stuff. If not, look up anybody local that you trust. I'm not saying use my guy. I'm just saying if you guys don't have any, you can text me. I can get you a guy that I trust, that I know will take care of you and look out for your best interest, not just the money. It's also where you can look at or have a policy and they can come and review it for free, and let you know if you're in good hands. And there's times I've seen this guy go to some of my references and they've got a great plan and he tells them, hey, you're set right, keep doing what you're doing. And it's not always about business, and that's the kind of people that you want to be associated with, is that people that look out for the best in your interest, not best just for their pocket. Because those guys in the long run, I will tell you, they do get their pockets heavy because the trust that they get from a lot of people will entrust or get the next policy with them just because they did that. I know the trick behind it. And it's that is what you're looking for, is you're looking for the long-term relationships, not the short-term relationships. So that was the answer to this question: what type of life insurance policies allow you to borrow against IULs? IULs build your money, so they have a life insurance, but they also build your money. Um, Greg says, "Greg, don't love you too." Okay, that's good. All right. So, Marion, I don't know if you heard me. If you can explain what that 15.3 is, or I got to look that up and see what that 15.3 payments is. I love to keep on learning and staying on top of this stuff. And there's always stuff that changes that you have to stay on top of. And that's the whole point of this program, is to share each other's knowledge to improve everybody's well-beings financially, so that way we can all benefit from it. So we're coming up at that 1 hour mark, guys. If you guys have anything you guys want to share, please do so. If not, my only recommendation, suggestion, and advice to you for this week would be is work on your credit for sure. That does help. But if you don't have some kind of a life insurance or financial setup, backup in case something happens, um, get something. And if you need a contact, I have contacts that come out throughout the whole United States to help out. And they have facilities in everywhere in New York, California, Texas, wherever you listed. These guys got people that they work with that they trust to come and do that. You're more than welcome to reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to share that. We got Marion with that. Pay half on day 15 of the other half 3 days before it's due. This tricks the system, thinking you made two payments, boosts your credit score. Yeah, so that is okay. Yeah, that is a trick that you can do. I actually use that on my business side, and I actually do multiple payments just because I want to keep on growing that. So that is a trick that you can definitely do. You can actually do it within the first 10, first 20, and then um, the due dates. So the due dates affect a lot of it is that it's with when your credit card reports. Just because your credit card statement is, let's say, ends on the 26th, and it doesn't always mean that the credit agency is going to get the 26's results. A lot of time they have automatic reporting, so they may report on the 20th or the 22nd or 24th, and then they may report again on it. So that's where the payments kind of help out, is depending on who your credit card is. Not all credit cards report frequently. Some credit card companies only report once a month. Some report twice a month. Some report every 10 days. It depends on who you are. Now, Capital One is one of the banks that is reporting more frequently than a lot of other banks. Some of the banks are not reporting as frequently as Capital One, or like maybe Bank of America or Wells Fargo. So those are some of the big ones that do report multiple times during the month to the credit agencies. Now, it is also on the credit agencies, the three credit agencies that we talked about, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, to update their reports. Now, a lot of times you will go look at your report. If you put your credit, you got to look at when that report was done, and you'll see a lot of them are 15, 30, 45 days old. They may not be, current. If I pull a credit report on all my cards today, I guarantee you there will be reports that are still from December, end of December, December 27th, December 26th, and we're in February 6th. And now there will be a lot of them in January, very few that's got a current February reporting. It's just that a lot of these credit agencies, they're not right on time. They get everything, but they just have to update their systems. So when you're also, here's another trick for that, is that if you are applying or for credit or looking for increases, I try to do all my increase and inquiries within 1 or 2 days. because a lot of times that only looks at doesn't it looks at as a one or two inquiries. Even if it looks at more, it doesn't affect your credit from you getting more credit, because if you do a lot of inquiries are also going to affect your credit. It's going to bring your credit score down. Call the credit card company, change your billing cycle to start the first of the month, so much easier to manage. You can. I actually like having mine at different dates. I just, use a spreadsheet. I have it in my calendar set up, and I also got auto payments. We talked about this, setting the auto payment above the minimum so that way you never miss it. But the cool thing with it is that you got mortgage due on the first. I don't want all my money coming out on the first. There's money that's coming in on the 15th. So, for a lot of people, it's beneficial to have them either spread out or in two different sections, that if you're trying to pay everything, now if you got your monies managed well and you can afford that, then yeah, knock it out. Hey, you're only looking at your statement once a month. But one thing I will say is the other thing that lets me do when I have multiple payments throughout the month is that not only lets me play with my money a little bit, but it also makes me stay on top of my financial game to keep on looking out for anything that is out of the ordinary. So with credit fraud and everything else going on in today's world, a lot of guys take a hit on credit. Is We talked about this in one of the previous podcasts, is that people think they paid off their credit card, and then now the credit card statement comes in and you're not looking at it because you're like, hey, I paid it off. And you may be like one of my friends that had a 3 cents balance that end up putting him in collection because he didn't pay attention to it. Um, so looking at your credit, it's like a homework, man. It literally, once you have it down, you do not spend more than 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, I guarantee you less than what you spend on TikTok any given day. So once you have it down, it's the first setup is what takes time. Once you have it down, it's like anything else. It's like having the morning coffee. It's 5 to 10 minutes. I do this every day. Now it's in my program. Is that I go into my work, I log into my business account, my credit card accounts, I log into my personal account, and I just make sure that everything is looked at. It is in line where it's supposed to be, and then I hit my QuickBooks and make sure everything is up to date on my QuickBooks on my business side before I run into the day to day. Or if I'm, doing my day to day, I still schedule myself at least 30 minutes to look at my financials, both business and personal, on a daily basis. It's a routine that you build yourself into. It's a habit, and the days that you don't do it, you have the itch like, hey man, I didn't do it right. I didn't do this. I didn't stay on top of that. It's like for people going to the gym. You hate going to the gym. Me losing weight, going to the gym is such a big obstacle. But once I start doing it daily, on a weekly base, on a monthly base, after that fourth week, it's like you miss the days that you don't go to the gym, because now you don't have that energy that you got from going and having the workout, even if it's only a 30-minute workout. Same thing with the financial setup. If you have your financial game down and you're regularly practicing this, I guarantee you, you will not, on personal, you will not spend more than 5 minutes a day, less than 5 minutes. And that could be 10 different accounts that you watch out. That it would literally take you less than 5 minutes to go through 10 accounts. Your phones are now set up so easy, especially with the face recognition logins, is that you can literally I can go through all my credit card statements in less than 3.5 minutes. And I'm talking about 8 different credit cards. That's literally where I've got it down to. Because if you're looking at it regularly, you already know what to look out for. There's only so many changes that's going to happen in a day. So, guys, that is the advice for today. Marion, thank you for sharing that setup. I think we shared the same thing. We didn't quite mention it under that 15.3, but somebody else had also shared the same setup a while ago on an older podcast, is making 2 payments. Yes, make the 2 payments, but just make sure that you stay on top of that. You don't make that one payment and forget to make the second one and pay interest. That's the only thing I tell a lot of my guys, is that I only do that with a couple of my cards. My bigger balances, my small balances, I just pay them off because I know there's payments happening. On the other thing, guys, use your credit cards. Do not let your credit card go more than 3 months without using it. I don't care if you go buy coffee with it and pay it off. Use your cards, because if you use cards transactions, your credit limit will not drop. Now the new trick these credit card companies are doing is that if you don't use their credit cards, they will drop or cut your credit limit altogether. So make sure that you stay on top of it, use it, and be at the best financial situation that you can be. Marion says on auto payment. Yes, it is a touchdown on that. Stay on top of that, guys. Set up your auto payment. Set it up at $15, $20 above whatever the minimum is, so that way you guys do not miss out on that. You miss up on it, that stuff is gonna stay on your credit report for at least 2 years or more. It can, for some, stay up to 7 years, but majority of the credit card companies these days are reporting hardly on the 2 years. There's more strict on that. After that, there's a lot of tendency leeway for them to kind of leave it off with. But have a great night, guys. Wish everybody the best. Enjoy your week, and we will see you on the next one.